Thank you so much for joining me on Unity in our community to talk all about your play. So, first of all, Christopher, thank you so much for being here and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Right. Well, I've been working as an actor quite a number of years now, and first and foremost, as an actor, really. Well, professionally as an actor, as a writer, really, as far back as I can remember, really, going back to school and everything, I've always written, just written as a hobby, really. And through writing and my pastime kind of got me into acting because I had all these things written, poems, what have you, little sketches and what have you. And then I thought I'd go to an amateur group, which I did. I found a little local group, and kind of that got me into acting. And then I pursued acting just as an actor, and still consider myself an actor, but lately I've done more of my own stuff. But as an actor, I've done, main scale tours, I've done community tours, I've done Shakespeare, done a little bit of television, I've done films, none of which you probably will remember as such, I wouldn't have thought, but it's all out there on IMDb and all sorts of things like that, and Spotlight links and all of those sort of things. So yeah, I've been to drama school and I've done the acting thing, and I love acting. I love the job of acting. And I've just moved progressively into doing more of my own stuff and started my own theatre company, Resistance Theatre Company.
Yeah, so tell us about like how that started because I was checking out your social media and you had was it kind of like a monologue play that was kind of about how you were feeling about George Floyd. It was a character that he'd seen like this incident and then he was going through his emotions and
That play is called Under Heaven's Eyes. And the full title of that play is Under Heaven's Eyes, the Systemic and Systematic Unjustified Killings of Black Lives. That's the title of that play. That
mm,
play was just at the Vault Festival in London
mm.
and has been invited to go to the United Solo Festival in New York. So
Wow.
I'll take that play to New York in
Mm.
October. And so that play, Under Heaven's Eyes, the systemic and systematic unjustified killings of Black lives, um, is my was my what happened to me after the George Floyd killing happened. That's what I
Mm.
had to do. I was writing something else. George Floyd murder happened, along with a lot of other things happened. It was the middle of lockdown, and I had to put away what I was writing. And what I was writing was I was just obsessing about, dreaming about. You get into this mode of your characters and what you're writing. You get really involved, and I had to just put that away, and I had to just deliver this play Under Heaven's Eyes, which I did. And yes, it is a monologue. I've got 4 plays that I'll talk about in a minute, and they're all solo plays. And so they're all kind of a monologue, really. But what
Yeah.
this character does, yeah, lovely. And what this character does in Under Heaven's Eyes is that we observe him trying to understand what is going on around him in the world. It's a black guy, middle age, everything's fine, lockdown's happening, minority communities, black people are being affected by COVID and disproportionately dying. Disproportionately, they were in America and here. So there was greater rates of black people being affected by this COVID thing. There was just we were in lockdown. All we were doing was transfixed with our TVs, if you remember, and the internet or what have you. And there was this succession of these black individuals being killed, chokehold, shot, disproportionately to the rest of the community, it seemed. And George Floyd was one of a succession. Breonna Taylor was another. I could go through many of them. Trayvon Martin was the one that started most of it all. And through this, we had this Black Lives Matter movement, and all of that awakening, which we're still kind of living through on the other end of it. So that character in Under Heaven's Eyes is trying to process what was going on. And so it's a Black perspective of what was happening as a Black British perspective of the George Floyd murder. That's what that play deals with. And he's trying to put the world in perspective and where he sits in it. And it kind of becomes personal to him. I won't tell you the whole thing that happens in case this play comes to a theatre near you. You can come and see it. I don't want to give everything away, but it's deeply personal, but it's personal, but it's global at the same time, and it's looking out at disproportionate Black killings here in the UK and in America.
And obviously, it's interesting to have a British kind of perspective going over to New York.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about that? Because obviously there is a lot of differences between here and there, but also similarities. So yeah, how are you feeling about it's obviously it's amazing to get to go to New York and perform there. Like, congratulations. But obviously you've got like, it's going to be interesting, isn't it, to show a British Black perspective like over there.
It's very exciting, but the piece, it lends itself to that because what the piece does, it's looking at this systemic racism and the history of it. It's not just dealing with present day racism. It's looking at how racism has affected Black individuals throughout time, throughout here, modern day, present day, recent past, and quite distant past. I bring up all sorts of, the play brings up all sorts of factual issues, factual events, names that you would know. Stephen Lawrence is mentioned, for instance, in the play. But it also deals with the same situation from this character's perspective, about real murders over there. Breonna Taylor, it mentions, George Floyd, obviously it mentions, and many others. And so it comments on present day race relations. And it's quite interesting, actually, because they have an issue over there at the moment. They're dealing with this whole critical race theory issue over there. And so it'll be interesting on a lot of levels to find out what they make of it.
I'm sure it'll be thought provoking, and hopefully when you're over there, you will get to go on the radio and do all your PR and talk about it, because I mean it needs to be talked about. It's great. It sounds absolutely amazing. Let's get it to Cardiff if it's not already.
Let's do it.
Because we have here in Wales a unique action plan, anti-racist action plan, which is being implemented all across Wales on every level. So really trying to roll that out now. It's come into effect. So in every sector, that has to be rolled out and taken into consideration.